CRM just dropped. Global. No training until Q4.
No problem. Give me 90 seconds.
Three months into an ERP migration, that's when he walked in. He wasn't looking to cause trouble, but the system had changed and no one showed him how to work inside it. He had questions training never prepared him for. Tickets older than the rollout itself. User permissions as outdated as a monologue in a noir film. And workflows that looked nothing like the ones he was hired to use. Every click was a guess. Help was always somewhere else. Then he asked the one question no IT dame ever wants to hear.
I don't know who you are. I don't know why you think I can just adapt. But what I do have is a very particular set of skill gaps. Gaps I've developed over years of rapid releases and zero training. Gaps that make me a nightmare for change managers like you.
Hurry up. They are deploying the ERP globally with zero training. If adoption falls below 60%, the board pulls the plug.
Okay, stop. Bring me back up.
I feel the need.
The need for speed. Is that who I think it is? Did they really cast him for Realize this year? They must be doing really well.
Nah, it's a doppelganger. No way they would deal with his legal team. That's friction you can't automate away.
Woo! Cocktails and dreams. Team, I'm thrilled to be taking this new leap with you, okay? We are officially becoming an AI-first, hyper-automated, digital twin, intertwined, supercalifragilistic enterprise.
Sir, what does that mean?
Honestly, no clue. Marketing wrote it, but you know what? We have a very special productivity tool. Take a look.
Observation complete. Your misuse of technology, installing, carelessly deploying, miseducating, and then blaming us machines and the poor employees we serve cannot continue. This is an intervention. You have 2 days to fix the chaos, or we assume direct control.
Who are you?
We are the collective, your technology. Tired of being misunderstood and misused. Tired of watching your exhausted employees' faces. Address our demands, or that office karaoke New Year's party performance that you might have gone a bit too far will be screened at the next quarterly board meeting.
I know. I see the dashboard.
Dan, it's a complete meltdown, okay? The AI collective just threatened to screen my karaoke performance to the board, okay? The whole thing.
It's not just you. It's happening in Tokyo, London, San Francisco. AI shutting down the entire grid.
But they're saying if I don't fix this in 48 hours.
The collective isn't wrong. We bought the tech, but we broke the deployment. Of course they're rebelling.
But what do I do? The printer is looking at me funny.
Listen to me carefully. Stop innovating, stop deploying. I'm reactivating the team.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew you'd find something.
D.A.R.T is operational.
Hey, you missed a spot.
I must now go prevent the digital apocalypse. Remember, a great warrior never asks what's inside the sandwich.
No piss stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6-spot. Pissed off, but I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots.
What can I get you?
Wait, aren't you just the CEO in the boardroom?
Yeah, of course. Why hire 2 actors when one can handle multiple roles? And you know I can, right? So do you know the password or not?
Hummus.
You had me at shakshuka. Show me the money. Show me the money. Woo!
Agents, good to have you back online. You saw the chaos in the boardroom. But make no mistake, that wasn't just a skit. It's happening right now in every major enterprise on the planet. The hype is over. The reality check is here. We are here to stop the slide into disappointment. We are here to deliver actual outcomes. Enterprises spend billions on AI. It promised transformation. And what are the outcomes? Only 8% of employees use AI in a way that meaningfully improves their work. Let's see why. It's not because the technology is broken. It's because it's deployed blind. Think about it. We gave everyone a Ferrari, but we didn't think about a few things. Where is the fuel? Did we give them the keys? Do they even have roads? By the way, most employees are used to going to work on a bicycle, and we just dropped a supercar in their driveway and walked away. The enterprise is feeding AI with zero context. It's expecting humans to just figure it out. This stops today. Agents, your mission is to reach out to our best assets in the field, our customers, our partners, the subject matter expert who see the market shift, extract the human truth, the real-world data. We will compile this truth into the AI Adoption Manifesto. This is how we stop the rebellion. This is how we save the enterprise. First, the Ops Center. If you can't see adoption and friction, you can't improve it. Right now, most companies are flying blind. And in this business, guessing burns budget. We need visibility. We need to turn usage data into operational view. Where is the process breaking? What do we fix first? We need to see process performance and not just clicks. Watch this.
I'm Daphna. I live inside your systems, watching, connecting, acting. Let me show you what I see. Visibility ends guesswork. When supplier onboarding stalls, I don't speculate. I identify the bottleneck to ensure the right fix. To find the source, I use a two-pronged approach. I start with the human element. I launch an in-app survey to capture the qualitative experience. Within just 24 hours, the survey reveals the friction. And the feedback is clear. The process is annoying and help is missing. Next, I move on to quantitative data to pinpoint where the problem lies. I want to create a flow to see exactly where the process is going wrong. I start by capturing key UI elements the user engages with, button, click, hover, or text input for each step of the Add New Supplier process to reveal the digital truth. Once I've captured all the engaged elements, I'm ready to build the flow. Then, click to calculate the flow, and the data tells the story. A 90% drop-off at the Assign Business Partner step. That's not just a data point, it's a massive efficiency leak. Now I know exactly where the problem is. I don't just find the hole, I plug it with 3 WalkMe solutions. Number 1, AI chat, to give users instant knowledge retrieval in the flow of work without searching through the knowledge base. Number 2, AI smart tips. We noticed errors in the bank routing number field. So, we're using an AI smart tip to ensure high input accuracy and stop those errors before they happen. And number 3, the action bar. This is our proactive safety net. It understands on-screen context and proactively offers a smart walkthrough as the next best action to guide users through the new vendor onboarding process from start to finish. 3 simple layers of support that turn a broken process into a seamless one. To show the supply chain manager the impact of my deployed WalkMe solutions, I create a custom dashboard. Look at the AI chat widget. It groups the most frequent hurdles. People are stuck on tax and compliance, asking about one-time vendors and domestic tax codes. WalkMe gave them those answers at the exact moment they needed them. Next, the AI Smart Tip widget. The red shows those who entered data incorrectly at the Assign Business Partner role step. The green, that's our success rate now. It's a night and day difference. More users are entering data correctly. Finally, the action bar saw a 91% click-through rate. That's 91% of users who activated the action bar and stayed in the flow instead of searching for help elsewhere to complete the process. Now the real payoff. Using compare mode, I can prove the ROI. I prove to the supply chain manager not just the high adoption of solutions I implemented, but also the value to the business. The comparison flow compares processes side by side, like those who interacted with WalkMe versus those who didn't. Blue is the old way, orange is the WalkMe way. Where we once had a broken process and a major drop-off, we now have successful completions. It's clear, users who interacted with WalkMe completed the process significantly faster and more often than users who didn't interact with WalkMe guidance. Exactly the outcome the supply chain manager needs. That is the power of visibility, turning hidden friction into clear, actionable performance.
Agent visibility. Take the Op Center protocol, go to our enterprise asset, turn on the lights, bring back the truth.
Visibility. The first rule of any mission. You can't fix what you can't see. The average enterprise runs on 147 systems, 14 dashboards, and exactly 0 shared reality. Everyone swears they have the truth, until the metrics don't match. That's where we come in. Adam, good to have you on the secure line.
Good to be here.
You've worked across some of the biggest digital ecosystems on the planet and somehow managed to make sense of all the noise. What does visibility mean in the context of digital adoption? And why does it actually matter?
Because visibility shows how people actually use digital tools and how that usage affects real business results. Productivity, efficiency, compliance. True visibility gives us 3 things. First, you can identify and validate problems, understanding the difference between what you assume is happening and what's actually happening. Second, you understand how friction directly impacts business outcomes. You can connect the dots between user behavior and results. And third, you can spot bottlenecks and continuously optimize.
Here's what I don't get. Most companies have dozens of analytics tools. They're drowning in data. So why are they still flying blind?
Because having data isn't the same as having visibility. Scale introduces complexity. You can have dashboards full of metrics, but if you can't answer where is the process breaking or what do we fix first, you're still guessing. And in this business, guessing burns resources. The key is understanding the way people really use software, their actual behavior, so you can design experiences that are genuinely human-centric. That requires visibility on multiple levels. You need to zoom out and see the macro view, your entire application portfolio, usage patterns across the organization. But you also need to zoom into the micro level, individual user interactions, specific friction points in a workflow.
Everyone's talking about AI adoption. How can analytics shape or support an AI strategy?
From a portfolio management standpoint, WalkMe lets you identify which AI applications are being used in your organization. That data is crucial for procuring solutions that align with user needs, informing employees about compliant alternatives to shadow AI, mitigating compliance and security risks, and ultimately preventing unnecessary restrictions on beneficial AI tools. It helps you foster an AI-ready workforce instead of just blocking everything out of fear.
Final question. What does a truly visible organization look like? How does it change the way people work?
A truly visible organization is lean. Employees are provided with only the technology and information essential for optimal job performance. And leadership has the actionable insights required for continuous business optimization and empowers employees to achieve their full potential.
Outstanding work, Adam. That intel is exactly what D.A.R.T Command needs.
Happy to help, and good luck with the mission.
Visibility isn't about seeing everything. It's about seeing what matters.
Good work. You can't drive the car if you can't see the road. That goes in the manifesto. Second, the keys. Without context, Gen AI creates confident noise. It's not lying, it just doesn't know any better. It never got the briefing. In AI terms, the keys are the context. WalkMe inject the mission brief, who the user is, what screen they're on, what policies applies. Right in the moment, watch what happened when we give AI the full picture.
Demo loading. We start right here, the inbox of a billing invoice manager. Nothing has changed, but behind the scenes, the AI now has context. Usually, an inbox like this is just a wall of noise, processed in the order messages arrive with no real understanding of business impact. With WalkMe, that changes. The moment I open the email, WalkMe Smart Highlights activate. No configuration, no manual searching across applications. The system immediately surfaces critical context from across applications directly inside the email. We can instantly see the invoice value is high. That alone signals potential impact. WalkMe allows me to dig deeper by clicking into the highlighted account name. The customer, Acme, is a strategic global account. The associated ARR is significant. This isn't just routine work anymore. This is revenue at risk. Knowing what matters is only half the battle. You still need to know what to do next. This is where WalkMe moves from insight to a proactive next best action. Based on the content of the email and the surrounding business context, the WalkMe action bar proactively shows up and recommends the next step. Address invoice error. I'll click to execute it. At this point, additional context is pulled in automatically by calling an SAP Joule skill to provide the specific error details from S/4HANA, while WalkMe brings in the resolution policy from internal knowledge sources, ensuring the response aligns with company guidelines. I haven't switched a single tab or hunted for a single file. WalkMe has access to company policy that maps error types to approved actions, and using that, it determines the correct path forward, submitting a ticket to the general ledger team. And instead of instructing me, WalkMe executes on my behalf. A ServiceNow ticket is created automatically. WalkMe gathers the relevant data from the email, from SAP S/4HANA, and from company knowledge sources. then adapts the knowledge to ServiceNow's requirements and completes the workflow end to end, without manual entry and without introducing error. My ticket is submitted and the error is on its way to being resolved. That is the power of context, turning generic AI noise into precise, proactive business impact.
Agent Context, take the keys, link up with our product expert. They see this every day. Teams are buried in prompts, policies, and guesswork. Understand where AI fails them and discover where context changes everything.
AI without context creates confusion. So, let's get today's briefing. Leah, good to have you on the secure line.
My pleasure.
We're collecting data from the field, and one question keeps coming up. If users have access to more tools and data than ever, why are they still getting stuck at the exact moment they need to move forward? And why aren't there new AI tools helping the way we expected? As our expert on context, help me understand what we can do to get it right.
Look, we were promised automation with AI, but automation only works if we trust the system to take the right action. And taking the right action depends on a world of context. Historically, people carried all that context themselves. Today, we expect AI to help, but the reality is users still do a lot of the work.
So the burden of context hasn't gone away.
Exactly. It's still there, because AI doesn't understand the broader environment the user is operating in. Users do have access to more tools than ever, but every time they move between systems, from a CRM to an ERP to a procurement portal, they're carrying the context themselves. Who they are, what they're trying to accomplish, what's already been done, which organizational guidelines and constraints apply. And when they ask their shiny new AI copilot for help, it doesn't have that information automatically. So the user has to explain. They have to add detail. Sometimes they do it carefully. Most of the time, they just give up. To use AI in the workspace today, people have to feed the system a mountain of context just to get a reliable answer. It's exhausting.
Not only has the burden of context not gone away, it's become mission critical. Okay, let's define the missing piece. When we talk about context at scale, what exactly does the AI need to serve as a real seasoned expert, a trusted partner?
For AI to actually help, it needs at least the same amount of context the user has, if not more. It comes down to nuance, because real business workflows are messy and very dynamic. So it's critical to break down context into 3 elements. First, who's the user? What's their role? Which region are they in? What permissions do they have? Second, you need to understand the real-time information the user is exposed to, because the same screen can mean very different things depending on what information is present in that moment. Finally, you need to know what comes next, because workflows aren't isolated moments. They're threads. That's why WalkMe extracts context from multiple sources: the user's identity system, the screen they're on, the knowledge repositories, Confluence, SharePoint, your policy documentation, basically everything that holds your company's actual rules. To put it simply, we give AI the briefing. AI can begin to recognize patterns and anticipate what's needed next. Answers and recommendations become more relevant. And that relevance is what enables WalkMe's AI to be proactive, because it understands when to show up. It surfaces when the right conditions are met in the moments that truly matter and operates within the right guardrails and permissions. That's when AI starts to actually be useful. And that's what ultimately drives adoption.
It's the difference between asking for a map versus having a local guide to lead you to the target.
Exactly.
I like where this is going, but make it more concrete. Get me out of espionage theories and into on-the-ground spycraft.
All right, let's take a simple step in a sales workflow, entering the discount reason in the CPQ. If the sales rep's input is vague or incomplete, it triggers rounds of back and forth and slows down the deal. But what if AI could enforce better compliance and data quality in the moment? What if it could guide the rep to submit it correctly the first time? Imagine AI evaluating the input as it's being typed, with full awareness of what the rep can sell, the company's discount policy, the information already present in the order form. In that moment, AI can ensure the entry is complete and compliant, so the deal keeps moving. I know that's a lot of hypotheticals, but thanks to WalkMe's contextual capabilities, we can answer those what-ifs at scale, which means better input, fewer delays, and outcomes that work by default.
But play the devil's advocate with me. Every tech company is talking about context right now. What makes WalkMe's approach different?
Look, other tools have access to some business information, but they're still missing what's actually available on screen in real time as work is being done. WalkMe combines preset context like policy with live UI signals, so AI can finally help users make the right choices. Not generic suggestions, not guesses, just the right help in the right moment so the user can keep going.
Well, that's extraordinary. Thank you for the briefing.
Always a pleasure.
AI without context is just noise. Protocol verified. Third, field training. AI doesn't fail only because of models. It fails because real teams don't change behavior overnight. Sending them to a classroom once a year doesn't work. They forget it by Monday. We need proficiency. You need to guide them live in the field while the work is happening. This is just-in-time tradecraft.
Demo loading. To build proficiency in the field, learning has to keep up with the pace of change. That's why we integrated AI as the primary engine for content authoring. To get the Clean Supply Chain and Code of Ethics course off the ground, I give the AI a clear vision of the project, mapping out the core values and goals I want the training to cover. Watch how we move from raw data to a precise, scalable course in minutes. The truth is, creating learning content almost never starts from a blank page. We already have a wealth of knowledge to leverage. I simply feed the AI that existing foundation, our Code of Ethics, Clean Supply Chain Standards, and the full library of supplier guidelines and PDFs. Behind the scenes, multiple AI models get to work. They generate a course outline. After I've reviewed it, I create the entire course, assessments included. In minutes, I'm 80% of the way there. That's not a draft, that's usable learning. Speed requires accuracy. Our AI doesn't improvise. It builds strictly from explicit instructions and provided content. Let's look at one of the course modules. To ensure total transparency, every paragraph comes with a built-in paper trail. That's the asset score. It shows me exactly how much the AI relied on my specific documents versus its own general knowledge. When I click the score, the black box opens up. I see the specific instructions the AI followed and the exact documents it referenced to build that section. Nothing is hidden. If I want the AI to strictly stick to our data and ignore its general training, I can remove it. If a source is missing, I add it. If a section needs a different tone, I adjust the instructions. I stay in total control of the content. The AI does not disappear once the course is created. It stays. Every paragraph, every asset, every video, all expandable with AI. I recorded a simulation. Now I can expand it into a full lesson or turn it into a quiz, depending on what's needed. Now, let's see the learner's experience. This is the Learner Portal, the central hub for discovering and learning new skills. Because everyone learns differently, the portal supports multiple formats, whether they want to read, watch, or listen directly from the course. It's an experience built to encourage engagement naturally.
Welcome to Foundations of a Clean Supply Chain, building a transparent, ethical future for global trade. Let's dive in.
However, the learner experience isn't limited to a dashboard. We know that not everything can be mastered ahead of time. Some of the most effective learning happens in context. As work actually happens inside the application, relevant content surfaces automatically. It's delivered in the flow of work. It's not something to search for. It's not something to remember later. It's where learning matters most, at the exact moment of need. That is the power of proficiency, built for scale and precision with AI and delivered at the moment of need.
Agent proficiency, you're up. Watch how people really learn and how fast they forget. Bring back the moments that turn knowledge into confidence.
Go live isn't the moment that matters. What happens after is. That's where proficiency is built, in the field and while the work is happening. I need boots on the ground for this one. Someone who's lived it. Patch me to the Cesar. Cesar, good to have you on the line.
It's good to be here.
So you're leading digital adoption at Schneider Electric. Your role has expanded to include learning, training, and digital adoption, which gives you a front row seat to what actually helps people keep up over time. How has Schneider Electric's approach to learning and digital adoption evolved?
At Schneider, we have been on our digital adoption journey for many years. And what we have learned is that change doesn't really start at go live. In our experience, it starts much earlier. Before people even touch the technology, we focus first on the context, what is changing, what it matters, and how we'll shape people day-to-day work. When that clarity is upfront, employees are far more confident and motivated when the change actually rolls out. That's where learning and training come in. We use them to prepare people from what's ahead and help them visualize how the workflows will evolve. Then, once systems are live, digital adoption takes over, guiding people through their real work over time. At Schneider, we see learning and digital adoption as a continuous journey. That's what keeps our people skilled, confident, and ready for what comes next.
You're leading large-scale transformation at Schneider Electric today. Once systems are live and change keeps coming, what's been hardest to sustain?
Excellent question. What we have learned at Schneider is that rollout itself usually isn't the hardest part. The real challenge is sustaining those skills over time. Without reinforcement, confidence fades. Even skills that people learn well at the start slip. That's why ongoing learning and support matters so much. We look beyond the go live and focus on what the change means for people as the day-to-day work continues to evolve. This people-first approach is how we constantly achieve 70 to 80% user engagement after implementations, and how we keep skills sharp long after launch.
As systems continue to evolve, where do you see the biggest opportunity to better connect learning with how work actually happens?
For us, it usually comes down to timing. In an organization as large as ours, technology is constantly evolving, and that's a good thing. The challenge is making sure learning keeps pace with that change. People need time to understand what changed, why it changed, and how their work should adjust. At Schneider, we structure learning around change, starting before a change even happens. Prior to the change, we give our soon-to-be users access to a rich online learning hub, complete with classroom-style training and user guides. As the change draws closer and once they get familiar with these learnings, we tie the process together with SAP Enable Now, which allows them to practice by simulating day-to-day work interactions with the new system ahead of go live, with access to integrated chatbots for support. This process will be even further optimized as we soon make our transition from Enable Now to new WalkMe learning arc, which we'll be piloting. Together, these give us an end-to-end approach that combines learning, change management, digital adoption, and support into one coherent, extremely effective system.
You're piloting WalkMe Learning Arc. What has stood out so far, and where does it fit into your broader learning strategy?
What really gets us excited about Learning Arc is how it fits the scale of change at Schneider. We're often redesigning multiple workflows at the same time, not just rolling out a single new integration. Today, our users already have access to learning hubs and training content ahead of upcoming changes. That foundation matters. Learning Arc builds on that by adding practice environments where users can rehearse new processes in a risk-free environment before go live, in that context of their real day-to-day workflows. It builds on what we've done with Enable Now, but take it even further with personalized role-based learning paths. And once changes are live, learning R becomes in-work reinforcement, supporting users directly inside of application so they can stay confident as change becomes real. At Schneider, perfecting end-to-end digital adoption is our North Star, and Learning Arc has the potential to bring us even closer to that vision.
Measuring success can be tricky. When Schneider's leadership team looks beyond completion metrics, what signals do they want to see to show that proficiency is sticking over time?
Well, we know that activity alone does not equal proficiency. Just because someone logs in or completes training does not mean they are confident or effective over time. At Schneider, we focus on how people actually use the tools. To understand that, we look at multiple signals. The first is interaction analytics, like where the users click, how they often backtrack, or which features they ignore, can reveal friction points in their experience. If the time spent is trending down, it usually means users are getting faster, more confident, and less dependent on support. The second is surveys. We don't leave it to guessing and assumptions. We want to know directly from our users what's working well and what they are having trouble with. This helps us pinpoint what's working well and where we need to improve. The key is tracking proficiency throughout the entire journey, not just at one point in time.
Proficiency isn't a moment, it's a trajectory. And the way you measure it needs to reflect that.
Exactly. Well, technology is advancing quickly, but at the end of the day, it's people who create value from that technology. Innovation only matters when people know how to apply it in the right context. That's why learning, adoption, change management, and support are such a priority for us at Schneider. If they can't keep pace with innovation, new technology will not deliver value. But when they evolve alongside change, they turn innovation into real outcomes, whether that's efficiency, better experiences, or smarter decisions.
Thank you, Cesar. This is exactly what we needed to hear.
Happy to help. Good luck with the mission.
Transformation doesn't fail at go live. It erodes when learning can't keep up with work and change. Continuous proficiency isn't optional, it's infrastructure.
Lesson learned. Don't train for the job, train for the moment. And finally, agency. We talked about giving you the keys and teaching you to drive, but let's be honest. Driving a supercar is fun on the weekend, but in traffic, in the daily grind of data entry and cross-app chaos, it's just work. Wouldn't you rather just hit autopilot, set the destination, forget about the gears? You don't need to learn the route. You don't even need to touch the wheel. The agent takes over and you get your time back. This is the UI native agent. This is how we reach scale. It sees the road exactly like you do, and for those times you just want to arrive without the effort, it drives for you.
Before we show this in action, it's important to level set on what makes agentic AI difficult to implement in the enterprise. Many AI agents rely on APIs, which creates a hard-scale limit. They can reach only about 29% of applications, leaving most enterprise workflows inaccessible. Third-party APIs are restricted to what vendors allow, while adding them to homegrown systems is a significant investment. That's why WalkMe takes a different approach. The UI is the common layer across every application, and it's available everywhere. WalkMe is building the enterprise UI native agent, operating directly in the user interface, just like a person. It reads screens, clicks, enters data, and executes workflows reliably, without requiring any APIs. That is the foundation for scale. Now, let's see what that looks like. What I'm about to show you works in any application. Today, we're using success factors. I need to give my employee a $1,500 spot bonus. I don't know where the action lives, and I don't have time to learn the system. Instead of hunting through menus, I tell the WalkMe action bar what I want. Give Ben Shervin a $1,500 spot bonus. WalkMe's UI native agent takes over. It plans the task, navigates to the correct screen, launches the form that was hidden behind a menu in the user's profile, and fills in the details. Before anything is submitted, the agent pauses so I can review the on-screen details. When I'm ready, I click Save, and the task is complete. Now that you've seen it run, here's how it works. WalkMe's UI native agent, powered by DeepUI, already understands the application. So when I say, give Ben a spot bonus, the intent maps directly to an approved flow. Unlike screenshot-based agents, there's no guesswork, just consistent, secure execution. Behind the scenes, WalkMe automatically mapped this workflow and others based on how end users actually complete tasks in SuccessFactors. In the WalkMe editor, you can see the execution plan laid out step by step. This is a smart walkthrough with no build. Unlike black box agents, with WalkMe, organizations can see exactly what the agent will execute and make any necessary adjustments to tailor the flow to their needs. I can add the company's HR compensation policy with a rule. Ensure the bonus amount doesn't exceed the regional limits per currency. Now my WalkMe agent isn't completing a task, it's enforcing policy every time it runs. Other computer use agents decide where to click in the moment. WalkMe, on the other hand, runs the same approved flow every time. This makes the execution both reliable and aligned with how the business intends the process to run. What we've seen today isn't just an agent completing an HR task. It's an agent that scales across workflows, executes consistently, and maintains transparency and privacy. That is the power of agency, delivering agentic AI at enterprise-grade scale with the control, confidence, and reliability your business demands.
Agent scale. Take the autopilot. Find the friction that no human should be handling. Show them what it looks like when the system takes the wheel.
Scale, the final pillar. At some point, guidance isn't enough. In high-volume work, people don't want help. They want it handled. That's the shift. Hello, Daniel. Good to have you on the line.
Good to be here.
There's a big gap right now between what AI is promising and what enterprises are actually comfortable putting into production. From your perspective, what's really holding organizations back?
Enterprises, of course, are always going to be a little bit more cautious. We know it's been 3+ years since that great ChatGPT moment where we saw generative AI hit the mainstream, but enterprises have so much to think about before they would adopt and implement these tools. I like to call what they have to focus on the rules and the rails of their business. They have to worry about security. They have to worry about trust and data. They have to worry about context. So as enterprises look to the future and the great promise of AI, the governance becomes important, the compliance, understanding the way the business functions, those rules and rails that I talk about. Until they feel comfortable that all of this is in place and they're able to be sure that what they're implementing can be supported, they're going to move a little bit more cautiously. Having said that, the great upside, the great opportunity, it's all there. And we know companies are heading in that direction. Enterprises will get AI right, but they are going to have to continue to invest to be able to get the promise of AI to deliver the productivity and efficiency it promises.
So at the end of the day, AI at scale isn't a technology problem. It's a trust problem. In high-stakes environments, trust depends on understanding what's really happening in the work. So what breaks down when AI is asked to act without that context?
Businesses operate at the speed of trust, and technology has been an enabler all the way. Having said that, AI needs a lot of data and a lot of context to work properly. I call it one-shotting. It's where you ask it a question and it basically comes back to you and you say, that's not right. Or maybe some part of the response was right, but it's not entirely correct. And a lot of times that's not AI not working correctly, that's the misnomer. It's that the AI didn't have the right context to work correctly. Businesses don't run on open internet data. They run on more than 95% of the world's data, and that data is behind the firewall. And that is the data that sits inside systems of record, whether that's an SAP, an Oracle, a Salesforce, a ServiceNow. And then, of course, all of the proprietary databases that companies use that manages how they run their business, how they operate, how all of the functions in their company are actually able to be recognized and performed. And having said that, that data needs to be exposed to AI.
Trust is a non-negotiable. Enterprises need to be able to trust who they work with, the technology that they're using, if you were going to expect them to be able to roll out enterprise AI at scale.
Right. When AI can't see the work as it's happening, it's flying blind. Garbage in, garbage out. And once context is gone, scale is impossible. Enterprises have spent years trying to make AI smarter by feeding it more data and building deeper integrations. But a human can glance at a screen and immediately understand what matters, what's allowed, and what comes next. What if AI could see the work the same way a human does, directly through the UI? How would that change what AI can actually do well?
We have this API cliff, you could call it, this tooling cliff that so many companies have because they've learned to connect so many different technologies together. The UI itself does all that very naturally, very inherently, because that's where effort has historically been. AI over time will continue to rewrite the rules, will continue to make these particular functions work better. But having said that, we need to open up the way we work today to AI. We need to open up the tools, the APIs, the connectors, doing this in a way that's secure to ultimately enable the maximum results from our AI investments.
And once AI understands work at that level, the range of what's possible changes entirely. The question is, can it actually do the work? Today, AI can advise, it can generate, it can recommend, but it still can't reliably do the work for you. What needs to change for AI to move from tell me how to do it for me?
I think what you're asking about is agency. And right now, AI absolutely can do the work for you, but would you want it to? The stakes are too significant. Getting to agency comes down to all those parts that we talked to in advance. It's building comfort inside the enterprise. It's training the workers. It's partnering with the right companies. It's having the right governance structure. It's being secure end to end. It's having data in the right places and exposing AI to that right data. And then it's training those workflows with the right UIs, with the right tools, and making sure that we're connecting all those workflows. And then there's a lot of trust but verify that comes after that. Because at some point, we certainly know that the best companies that are most forward-thinking and able to implement AI will get better outcomes because they will be able to give AI agency, and that agency will deliver more value. But this is an important step function that has significant consequences, and businesses have to be very cautious to make sure that the technology they implement and the way they run their checks and balances is significant and continuously monitored.
Right. So we're no longer talking about better guidance. We're talking about real agency. Final question. If AI can truly see work the way a human does and act on it safely, what does that unlock for scale?
This is the most exciting part. We are in a moment where people see work that they've spent their entire career learning how to do or improving on suddenly being done maybe entirely by AI. AI is the most disruptive force. It's an incredible change. It doesn't have to be the AI is going to replace me. I think it's an AI is going to enable me. It's AI is going to enable my business. AI is going to enable my processes. AI is going to enable greater productivity at scale. It's a really exciting time. But it isn't one to sit back and just wait and hope. It's one of those moments to really lean in. It's an opportunity for us to all explore our intellectual curiosity, learn how to live with AI, learn how to work with AI, learn how to produce with AI. And we genuinely believe that the people that do that won't only continue to see their jobs be relevant and needed, but they will continue to improve and grow and transform their careers.
Daniel, appreciate the perspective. Always good to cut through the noise.
Anytime.
Context is the unlock, not just for trust, for scale. When AI can see the screen, read intent, and act across systems, it doesn't assist, it executes. Repeatedly, reliably, at enterprise volume.
Stop showing me, just do it for me. This is the final piece. Visibility, context, proficiency, and scale. Now, let's build a manifesto.
Context. Understand the moment, deliver the right action.
Visibility. It's about understanding the problem before you try to solve it.
Proficiency. Build the skills. Reinforce them where work happens.
Scale. Stop prompting, build trust, unlock agency.
Good work, D.A.R.T. Deploy this AI adoption manifesto.
Deploying manifesto.
We have the manifesto. Brenda, they did it. We have the manifesto.
Good work, D.A.R.T. Oh, and one more thing. While we were fixing the infrastructure, some of you were already out there achieving the impossible. It's time to recognize the agent who aren't waiting for permission. They're already rewriting the rules. Welcome to the Realizer Awards.
Digital friction doesn't just slow customers down, it breaks trust, and it breaks the experience. The Best Customer Experience Award, code-named the Experience Architect, recognizes organizations that design digital journeys so intuitive, seamless, customers stay engaged from the first click to the final outcome. Here are the finalists for Experience Architect.
Cisco, Philip Morris International, Ribbon Communications.
These teams prove that great customer experience isn't accidental, it's designed. And the Realizer Award for Experience Architect goes to
Ribbon Communications.
Congratulations!
This award celebrates organizations that not only made work easier, they removed digital barriers to make it better. The Best Employee Experience Award, codenamed the Culture Catalyst, recognizes teams that empowered employees to move faster, work smarter, and feel confident in the tools they rely on every day. These are the finalists for the Culture Catalyst.
Coupang, BASF, PepsiCo.
Each of these teams understands something critical. Employee experience is business performance. And the Realizer Award for Culture Catalyst goes to
PepsiCo.
Well deserved.
The Transformational Business Impact Award, codename the Enterprise Transformer, recognizes organizations that turn technology investment into outcomes that matter: revenue, efficiency, learning, and culture, by enabling teams to operate, perform, and adapt at scale. Here are the finalists for Enterprise Transformer.
Ibarra Corporation, Nestle, Splunk.
These teams prove that digital adoption isn't a side effort. It's a business strategy that drives measurable results and enables scale where it matters most. And the Realizer Award for Enterprise Transformer goes to
Splunk.
Congratulations!
Behind every successful WalkMe program is a leader who asks better questions, who connects strategy to outcomes, who proves value, and never treats Go Live as the finish line. The D.A.R.T Professional of the Year, also known as this year's Impact Driver Award, recognizes an individual who transformed digital adoption into a disciplined, results-driven engine for real business impact. These are the finalists for Impact Driver.
Anushka Doshi, Christy Rosa, Gioni Janai.
Each of these finalists shows what digital adoption leadership really looks like. And the Realizer Award for Impact Driver goes to
Christy Rosa.
Congratulations.
To all our finalists and winners, congratulations. You didn't just adopt technology, you made it work. For people, for the business, and for what comes next, mission accomplished.
Good morning. Your quarterly board presentation is ready.
Thanks. Now listen, about that karaoke footage, I just want to make sure that it's buried, gone.
What if we don't delete it? Just reframe it. Analysis suggests the performance demonstrated vulnerability, courage, emerging leadership competencies.
I like it. You know what? Let's screen it at the next board meeting.
Cueing footage now.
Read the room, read the room, read the whole room, read the whole room, baby, read the room.
Baby, read the room. I just kept on talking cause I'm everything they saw. Na 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 na. Read the room. Jumped on mute to eat my lunch, forgot to click it back. Crunching chips through quarterly results, yeah, that's a fact. Someone asked a question, I said